Milwaukee is winning Game 6. Milwaukee is winning Game 6 in that environment at the Fiserv Forum. If the Milwaukee Bucks win Game 5 Saturday night, their fans in Milwaukee will be celebrating an NBA championship for the first time since the 70s come Tuesday night. They're winning Game 6. They're not losing Game 5. So if you're the Phoenix Suns, you have to definitely treat Game 5 like it's a Game 7, because I don't believe they're winning a Game 6 back in Milwaukee. Not with that crowd, not with Giannis, who still isn't 100%, by the way, playing the way that he's playing, not how Middleton performs at home, and not with attrition having kicked in against CP3. CP3, I think that he'll have 2 damn good games out of 3. I don't think it'll be a good game, Game 6. I think Booker could potentially have 3 big games, but at least 2. I don't think it'll be Game 6. I think Game 6 is going to belong to the Milwaukee Bucks, which means the Phoenix Suns got home court advantage for a reason. They better win Game 5.
I don't feel that way. I think it's a pretty damn good idea to win type game, but I wouldn't call it a must-win, Stephen A., because I just watched the Phoenix Suns. Like, even with Chris Paul turning the ball over and all that, I just watched them take them to the brink in Game 4. It took one of the greatest plays in the history of basketball, right? And Chris Paul turning the ball over and Middleton going bananas at the end to squeak out a win in Game 4. Why am I to believe that the Suns are incapable of winning Game 6? I have a legitimate question for you, Stephen A., because you've been covering this series. You've been in Phoenix. You've been in Milwaukee. And I'm not talking about the Deer District, right? I get that that whole kind of area might be an advantage. I'm talking about in the arena. Do you notice a better home court advantage in terms of the fans for the Bucks than the Suns?
I got to tell you, I thought that no one was even on Phoenix's level, to believe it or not, until I went to Milwaukee. I mean, it's all they have, Max. Green Bay's 2 hours away. I mean, the Brewers, I mean, they'll think about the Brewers, as the summer progresses. It's all they have. And to see them be this close to a championship, this crowd in Milwaukee is something special.
It's better than Phoenix's. Is it better than Phoenix's home crowd?
I'm not going to say better than, but it's on that level.
Okay,
it's on that level, Max.
That's what I thought, because when you watch Phoenix, at least on TV, it's like, whoa, that's a home crowd, that's a home court advantage. And
Yes.
That's my point. You're right about Game 6. That's a tough spot for the Suns to be in if they lose Game 5, have to do that in front of that crowd in Milwaukee. But the same can be said for this Game 5. Like if I see the Bucks able to overcome the home court advantage of the Suns, and I just saw the Suns come within a whisker of doing that to the Bucks in Game 4, well, I already know that one team can win on the other's home court, and I already know one team can take the other team to the wire. I wouldn't say that the Suns are incapable of winning in Milwaukee. I don't anticipate that Chris Paul will continue to have 1 million turnovers a game.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Devin Booker is going to, look, he lit it up after he had a couple bad games, right? He lit it up. I think they can win in Milwaukee.
Well, let me throw this at you, Max, because, you've been to enough sporting events in your life. When you're watching a team and you feel like they missed a moment?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel Phoenix did in Game 4. Devin Booker picks up his 5th foul with about 6 minutes left or so, and he's got to go to the bench, and he's rolling, and he's absolutely unstoppable. But the foul stopped him because he had to go to the bench, and while he was on the bench was obviously when Milwaukee made their run. People keep forgetting Phoenix had a 9-point lead, if I remember correctly, in the 4th quarter, and they lost that. I mean, they were rolling. You had a lead, and on top of it all, Devin Booker couldn't be stopped. He was flowing. And so when you look at it from that perspective, just thinking about it, asking yourself, with a championship on the line, a Game 6, an opportunity to avoid a trip to Phoenix for a Game 7, that home crowd, that Deer District, which, by the way, all of these numbers, people keep talking about 12, 15,000. I was told by the Milwaukee Bucks, by a member of the Milwaukee Bucks, it was 25,000 people.
It's easy to believe that.
I was told it was 25,000 people.
Did it feel that way?
All right, yes. And so what I'm saying is this. You got 25,000 people outside, and they are rocking, and they're roaring. You got the great Mike Breen, the Hall of Famer that is Mike Breen, literally telling you, This building is shaking after Middleton makes a layup and the and one that wasn't because Devin Booker didn't get called for one of the 4 times he should have fouled out of the game and stuff like that. And Breen is talking about the building is shaking. He ain't lying, Max, because when I was there for Game 3, the building was shaking. I mean, it was pandemonium. It was electric,
Sure.
man. And I'm just saying, if you are the Milwaukee Bucks and you just warded off Phoenix in Game 4, if you win Game 5, you don't come back and let Game 6 go. I don't believe that happens.
Keep in mind, though,
I really, really don't. And the home rims are easier for Giannis from the free throw line, it appears, as well.
Keep in mind, though, what we were all thinking in that Clippers series. Chris Paul misses the first couple of games, COVID.
Yep.
Campaign played great. He comes back, but early on in that series, like, the Suns might beat, the Clippers might beat the Suns, not early on. Once the Clippers won a couple games, the Clippers might beat the Suns. In fact, a lot of basketball people were saying that the Clippers would actually win the series. And partly that was because, Stephen A., when Chris Paul got back, after playing the best basketball of his career, which is saying something, he's a first-ballot Hall of Famer, against Denver, he slowed up the offense. It wasn't vintage Chris Paul. And at that moment, it was like, Chris Paul's not right. The Clippers are going to knock him out. And what did Chris Paul do? He answered in a Game 6 with one of the best games you will ever see, and they won. So what I'm saying is, in this series, it's up and down. In the last couple series for Chris Paul, but you just said earlier, you believe he doesn't have 3 great games in him, but he can do 2 out of 3, right? They have to either win one game where Chris Paul's not great or win them both when he is. But I think he has enough in the tank to get it done, even if they lose a Game 5.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.